The F-35B is the pride of the U.S. Marines. A supersonic stealth fighter that can hover like a helicopter. Its defining feature is the three-bearing swivel nozzle, a brilliant piece of American engineering that bends the jet exhaust 90 degrees downward. Or is it? This technology didn't start in America. It started here on a Soviet aircraft carrier 3 decades earlier. This is the Yak-141 Freestyle, the Soviet plane that did it first. Welcome to Shadowworks. Today we investigate a lingering question in aviation history. How much of the F-35's DNA is actually Russian? And what really happened when Lockheed Martin flew to Moscow with a checkbook? In the 1970s, everyone wanted a jump jet, a plane that could take off vertically. The British built the Harrier. It worked, but it was slow. It couldn't break the sound barrier. The Soviets built the Yak-38. It was so unreliable. Its ejection seat would sometimes fire the pilot out without asking permission. The Navy called it the fence guard. It couldn't fly far enough to leave the airport. The Soviet Navy demanded something better. They wanted a plane that could hover and fly at Mach 1.7. Yakovlev Design Bureau accepted the challenge. Here's the problem. To go supersonic, you need a big engine with an afterburner. You can't just vector the thrust through side vents like the Harrier. So the Soviet engineers invented something new, the R-79 engine with a 3-bearing rotary nozzle. They built a nozzle segmented into 3 wedge-shaped rings. By rotating these in sequence, the exhaust could point straight back for supersonic flight, or curve 95 degrees down for hovering. It was elegant, it was radical, and it worked. In 1987, the prototype Yak-141 flew. It set world records for VTOL, aircraft time to climb, maximum altitude, payload capacity. It was faster, climbed higher, and turned tighter than anything the West had. But in 1991, disaster struck. During a test landing on the carrier Admiral Gorshkov, the pilot came in too hard. The landing gear punched through the fuel tank. The plane burst into flames. The pilot ejected safely. But the program was doomed, not because of the crash, but because of what happened 3 months later. The Soviet Union collapsed. The money dried up. The Yak-141 was dead, but its secrets were very much alive. And someone was interested. In 1991, while the Soviet flag was coming down, Lockheed executives were flying in. The Americans were trying to build their own supersonic VTOL fighter, what would eventually become the F-35. They'd heard about the Yak-141. They wanted to know more. What happened next is where the story gets murky. We know Lockheed provided funding to Yakovlev, reportedly hundreds of millions of dollars, to keep the design bureau afloat. In exchange, they gained access to wind tunnel data, consulted with Yakovlev engineers, and according to some sources received technical drawings of the nozzle system. Lockheed admits the partnership existed.
They question the very foundation of our design philosophy.
Maybe, but look at these schematics. The 3-bearing design, the wedge segments, the rotation mechanism. The geometry is familiar, very familiar. So did America steal Soviet technology? Steal is the wrong word. They bought it legally from engineers who desperately needed the money. This wasn't espionage, it was commerce. The real question is, how much of the F-35's heart is Russian? The Yak-141 never went to war. Today, it rusts in a museum outside Moscow. But that brilliant rotating nozzle, the engineering breakthrough that made supersonic VTOL possible lives on. Today, F-35Bs operate from amphibious assault ships across the globe, giving the U.S. unprecedented power projection. Every time one of those jets hovers onto a deck, there's a piece of Soviet engineering making it possible. The technology that was built to destroy America now defends it. The Soviets were brilliant at engines, but they were terrible at computers. Join us next time as we investigate the MiG-29 Fulcrum, the plane so maneuverable it stunned NATO pilots at its first airshow appearance, but had a radar screen that looked like an Atari game. Click here to subscribe so you don't miss the Fulcrum.